I haven't seen Supernatural yet, and people really liked when I did this with the first set, and someone gave me a set of new photos so I didn't have to look these people up and get spoiled. So let's make up some stories for these people who are in Supernatural. I've written these down already because I have a post going on Thread, so if I keep looking up here, it's because I've already written them down. But I have not gone on the wiki or anything else. Okay, so we've got this guy right here. He looks very friendly. I'm going to call him Leo, and he deals in demon contraband. In his introductory episode, he smuggles Sam and Dean out of a dangerous demon-infested city by having them hide in cubbies in a specially made van. This is Buffy. I don't know what you're doing in the Supernatural verse, Buffy, but let's call her a teacher. She needs a reason to get involved with our guys, so let's say she has a student who sets fires with their mind, and she calls in Sam and Dean to help them save this kid before he gets in trouble. Something about this white shirt is giving evil. So let's make this a human who has come into possession of a magical artifact that makes everyone around him want to do whatever he says. I got that from a podcast called The Bright Sessions, in case anyone is wondering. And then Sam and Dean manage to get the artifact away from him, but he can't cope without having his power, so he jumps off a building. She looks like a badass. I'm calling her a bounty hunter. She's human, and she comes into conflict with Sam and Dean because one of her bounties is the same one that Sam and Dean are trying to find because that person has a clue. And she wants to take them in to get her bounty, but Sam and Dean want to question them. So eventually they both agree to allow Sam and Dean to question the guy, but he gets shot in a police shootout. I immediately distrust her, though I don't know why. Let's call her Heather. Heather has pretended to be a woman in need of help on the side of the road, and then when Sam and Dean pull over to help her, she takes out a gun and she steals their car and their clothes, leaving them naked on the side of the road. This is obviously a vampire. I predict that Sam and Dean will both fall in love with this woman, and they will be attracted to a city where a whole bunch of people are being found without their blood. But she has been framed. It is not her doing it. She only gets her blood from blood banks, and it's the bad guy who's framing this girl into trying to make Sam and Dean kill her. Our man in the lovely cable knit sweater here is a shut-in. He can hear other people's thoughts, which has gotten him in trouble with friends and family. He shut himself away in a cabin rather than suffer from those thoughts. Sam and Dean give him an amulet they got in a previous case that makes it so he can't hear those thoughts anymore, and so he's so grateful to them that he gives them a clue about whatever mystery they're solving in that season. This reminds me of the sheriff from the TV show From. So I'm going to say, and he looks a little bit official in this outfit, so I'm going to say this is a sheriff. And unlike the other cop character in my previous list, he is very by the rules, and he's not going to let Sam and Dean rifle through artifacts and try to break the law. But eventually, Sam and Dean convince him that his deputy is a serial killer, and so they work together in order to stop this guy. I see some chains here. So this is a dangerous man. I'm going to say that this is Balthazar, and he is a wish-granting demon. So Sam and Dean make a deal with him in order to release him in exchange for wishes. But in the usual fashion, traditionally, all the wishes go wrong, monkey's paw style. My personal bias tells me that this is a love interest, but I'm going to try and veer away from stereotypes here and say this is actually an interdimensional traveler, and she comes when Sam and Dean have an argument that means that they part ways, and she has to get them back together because if they don't get back together and be family and friends again, horrible things will happen. And one of the boys falls in love with her, but she has to leave because she isn't from that dimension. I know this actor, and he always plays villains, I'm pretty sure, so this is one of the bigger bad guys. Maybe he has several episodes where he interferes with Sam and Dean, by dispatching henchmen to get in their way. But I'm going to take something from Blacklist and say that he thinks either Sam or Dean killed his daughter, and that's why he's so set against them. But when he finds out that someone's been lying to him and his daughter's actually alive, then he actually joins the main cast for a few episodes. I recognize a witch when I see one. This is a witch. She's the head of a coven in a small town. Sam and Dean stop in the town while on a road trip, and they question why everyone in the town is so successful, and they get captured by the witches and only get away at the last minute. This is the son of a character that Sam and Dean helped in a previous episode. He tracks down our cast and tries to help them because he wants to join the cast and be a demon hunter like them, but he's just making himself a nuisance. So eventually, after he almost gets killed trying to help, Sam and Dean send him home. This is a woman called Raven, and while following a trail of cases where abusive boyfriends end up dead, she gets on the trail of Sam and Dean because the bad guy tells them that, hey, Sam and Dean are super evil. They beat up their ex-girlfriends. So she goes after them with this misunderstanding, and she almost kills them, but again, at the very last minute, the misunderstanding is resolved. Very common trope in movies and TV shows. While I appreciate the cleavage here, this expression and this hair scream evil. Let's call her Willow. I'm going to say that Willow has the power to be behind the throne and manipulate the big bad. So there's a big bad guy who's a dude, but this is the actual evil, and we don't find out that she's the actual power behind the throne until later in the season. This, the last one, this is a pair of ghost hunters, and they are fans of Sam and Dean, so they follow them around and try to replicate the things that they're doing, but they really just get themselves in trouble. But they do this thing where they cry wolf so many times that Sam and Dean are eventually like, listen, we don't trust you anymore because you keep telling us things that aren't true. And then, so in typical cry wolf fashion, eventually they really do find a ghost, but then Sam and Dean won't help them, so they have to do it themselves, and they just bumble their way through it. How did I do? Don't give me any spoilers.